What is up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this evening's show. Let's just go with that. We are being brought to you thanks to our friends at Manscaped. You know the spiel. WFM20, free shipping, yada yada, gold balls, treat, nice, everything, happy days. That's the best ad read I think I've ever done. I mean, I've laid it out there for the good folks, you know. Look, at this point, I think we are just at a point where they know they're the best in the business. They know their balls will be groomed. They know Paddy loves the fragrance. They know. That's all. Gents, a lot for us to get through. A lot. I don't know where to start with Roman Abramovich. There's some views on Joe Gomez. I feel like we should start about the capitulation of Paris Saint-Germain last night because, I mean, I hate Real Madrid. Let me put that out there. I'm a Barca person. I hate Madrid. But I was screaming for them fuckers last night, lads. I was unashamedly cheering on Real Madrid during the watch-along last night. And I will absolutely be the first one on here to say it was 100% a foul on Gianluigi Donnarumma, and I still don't care.
Pretty much.
It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. Like, to go from kicking off to Karim Benzema coming out of nowhere to just slap a worldie in the bottom corner. Oh, God, that lived up to it last night, Chris. That lived up to it.
Wasn't it the third goal from kickoff? Or something like
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And what a player Benzema is, by the way. Unbelievable. He is the only one, I think, in this era who could have done a better job than Firmino did in our system. I just think he is one of the biggest complete packages of a footballer we've had, and still somehow underrated, I think. But yeah, that just proves it.
I mean, Paddy, immediately people are going to start blaming the manager. I mean, everyone's going to say Pochettino this, but it's not him. And it wasn't the manager before him, and it wasn't the manager before him. It is the fact that you have three superstars in that team who won't do a lick of work.
Is the history of the PSG. I couldn't believe what I was watching. It's like they went into a room and pressed self-destruct. It definitely was a foul on Donnarumma, but listen, I didn't care. I'm not too mad about Real Madrid, but I would have preferred them going through than PSG because I'd rather play them than PSG. The thoughts of Mbappe versus Trent fills me with dread, so I'm glad we don't have to. And that's no slight on Trent. It's just Mbappe's Mbappe. Let's be honest.
He was the only saving grace from them. Let's be honest. Yeah. I thought, he created some opportunity, so he showed he was the goal that was ruled out that he scored. The footwork, my days, lads, that was ridiculous.
He didn't even touch the ball. He manipulated the situation that much. It's just
Paddy. It was honestly, man. That was, if any of us tried that, we'd have two broken kneecaps. Like, that was ridiculous. Although, Paddy, I'm expecting a bit of that from you this weekend.
Yeah, like a prime Michael Flatley he was. It was absolutely majestic. And I can't believe they let them back in. But Real Madrid, they are the kings of the Champions League. 13 titles. Like, we are so buzzing with 6. 13 is like a different level.
You don't count the first 5 of them, though.
Well, yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. Modric yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, what a player. Still a great player. That pass to Benzema for the second one, the weight and everything on it, it was sublime.
I remember after he first signed, they all slated him as one of the worst signings Real Madrid had ever made. And since then, he's gone and proven just an unbelievable player. He's such a quality technician. He's just brilliant. I love watching him. He's so easy to watch.
I learned my lesson about slandering Modric and Kroos and Casemiro, because when we had to play Real Madrid last year, I was like, they're finished. They're over the hill. Nah, I'm not worried about them. And like Kroos ran the game at the Bernabeu, and Modric was phenomenal. Last night he was so good. That little deft pass for the second, and he was recovering everything. He's a joke of a player. People still give out about him winning the Ballon d'Or, but I mean, he was different gravy that year, and he still is. And to do that at 36, it's phenomenal. And I feel like, as we do, a lot of us to look at football, like 36 is like, wow, how? But like, players are getting fitter and fitter. Technology is getting better and better. So these players last that much longer, but to still be that good at that age, phenomenal.
Let me just take a second as well. I see in the chat earlier on to wish a happy birthday to Jamie. Happy birthday today, Jamie. A great support for the channel. A top lad, always leaves lovely comments as well. Happy birthday, Jamie, from all of us. Yeah, look, lads, on that last night, there was loads to go through. But did you guys see? I think it's the Madrid Extra account, a really big, prominent Twitter account around all things Real Madrid. That there was shenanigans, shall we say, going on in the PSG dressing room. You know, the UEFA's favourite boy, the man who was put onto the UEFA executive committee. Apparently, they were in there almost at fisticuffs in the dressing room after the game, wanted answers. And there's going to be a report gone into Madrid. Apparently, Leonardo and I don't know the guy's name, blah blah blah.
Nasser El Khalifi.
Yeah, that gentleman. Yeah, he was. Apparently there was reports of actually hands being thrown. Now I don't know. Actually, Joe, let me just get the comments up. It's easier to do.
So
that.
entitled, aren't they? They are so entitled.
Apparently, Real Madrid TV were recording at the time and kind of caught it. Not exactly the hitting, but. And there was a big thing about apparently Neymar and Donnarumma were at each other as well. But Neymar shared a WhatsApp between the two of them that looks pretty contrived. But yeah, I mean, clubs like that. I tweeted during the game, you can't buy European pedigree and that sort of stuff. And PSG proved it once again.
So this says Nasser Al Khalifa and Leonardo were screaming in the dressing room and even hit people. The police had to be called. They were upset at the referees. Thought that Benzema, and they thought Benzema fouled Donnarumma. And look, that's from a pretty prominent account, to be fair, around all things Real Madrid. Look, we know what PSG did the last time they felt slighted by a Spanish club after a comeback. Gentlemen, they went in and bought a certain Neymar Jr. off Barcelona for a fee that nobody thought would ever be paid in world football. What next? Because, I mean... I won't lie, I fucking love this. I love that their heads are falling apart. I love that.
And you love the fact that Neymar lost, Craig. That's it. You love the fact that Neymar.
How can we not buy a Champions League? How can we not do it? I don't understand. It does not compute. I have thrown money at it. I have brought in the best players in the world. Yeah, but you haven't brought in heart. You haven't brought in fight. You haven't brought in teamwork, and you haven't brought in continuity.
And the fact that Neymar lost.
Yeah. The simple thing about that is, you can do all that and, buy all those players. Like playing like shitters week in, week out in League On is not going to prepare you for the big nights in the Champions League. The Premier League is 100% the best league in the world. People might debate that, but I don't think it's debatable. But the League On, there is a couple of decent sides, but majority of it is pretty poor. And there's such a, I know Lille was an anomaly last year, but there's such a vast, gap between PSG and the rest. Maybe not every year, but just in terms of the squads and stuff. How can you prepare to play the best in the world when you're playing such minnows week in, week out? And, whatever we say about Man City not winning the Champions League ever or whatever, I genuinely think, I can't. PSG will never win the Champions League. It's hilarious.
I do think they'll win it in the end.
I mean,
just like Chelsea.
Before the end of time, I'd imagine so. Yeah.
I know this sounds like an absolutely ludicrous statement, but I can't even believe I'm about to utter these words. But they're gonna have to do a rebuild, lads. And that sounds ridiculous. When you Messi was ridiculous, shouldn't have signed him. We can all see that. We all knew that was going to be the case. Look, Messi's Messi. Respect massively. My favorite player of my generation. Absolutely phenomenal. But if you already have Neymar and Mbappe in the team, how is adding in somebody else who won't track back going to really help out? Because there's no denying you can't carry. Rio Ferdinand and Michael Owen spoke about this actually in the BT show again last night, and I don't often agree with either of them, but they're right. You cannot carry 3 luxury players in any system and hope to get away with it in the Champions League. How many times have we seen the collective outweigh the geniuses in the Champions League?
It's true. It's very true. I don't think that was the biggest problem last night, though. I think it's defensively where their issues lied more. But overall, there's a big picture thing. You can't, it just doesn't work like that. Messi, Neymar, Suarez. Well, Suarez worked extremely hard and always did, so he wasn't carried. Messi was more motivated. He played for Barcelona despite the fact he didn't track back, and Neymar was in the pomp of his career. That's probably the only reason why that worked. But with these 3, they haven't got that Suarez figure. They need one.
I wonder, Paddy, will these type of clubs ever start to realise that signing a Sergio Ramos, a Lionel Messi, these players at the very, very, very tail ends of their careers, is not going to get you the success you want. It might get you some financial clout. It might get you shirt sales. It might get you some kudos for your club and some branding around the world, but it won't have the effect you want on the pitch unless you have savages around them. And by savages, I mean Jordan Henderson's, Fabinho's, even at Manchester City, Gundogan at one point. Like just players who will work, do the hard yards, and sacrifice themselves.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I feel like PSG do enjoy that commercial aspect as well of growing the club's name and brand. They do get a kick out of that. That's definitely a key part of their remit and stuff. But yeah, that's a spot on point that Chris said. Like, first of all, you can't afford to carry 3 luxury players, and they do need that Suarez-esque kind of bullish striker just to kind of, you know, I don't know, create, like, offer more than just sheer goal scoring. Like a Houlden would be fantastic, I would say, for them. Do you know what? They could do worse than actually replacing Mbappe with Suarez in the summer. Like, you know, I know Suarez is in the twilight of his career, but, you know, get the band back together for a season. You could do a lot worse. Like, you know, because losing Mbappe is going to be a killer for them. That's going to set them back a lot. Like, Mbappe is their key man. And Neymar, by the way, I know I don't want to get you started, Craig, but Jesus Christ. What a waste.
I don't know how anybody looks at that clown and thinks he's an idol in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, he's become a waste of time. He offered nothing. Well, in the first half, he was actually okay. He created like 3 big chances, but what a waste of a career. You know, he could have been one of the best ever. Not waste of a career, but based on what it could have been, it's a waste. He could have went on to be one of the game's greats, full stop. And that PSG move just stifled everything.
I want to change up the subject for a second, gents, because there's been a report from Graham Bailey today that Joe Gomez is hopeful Liverpool will sanction a move away from the club this summer as he looks to mount a bid for a place in England's World Cup squad. Kind of, I don't want to say we were ahead of the curve here, Paddy, but we were ahead of the curve. We've been talking about this for a while now on the channel, the 3 of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, it's probably for the best thing for Joe Gomez's career, because he's not next 9 or near starting for Liverpool. And listen, it's going to be hard for him to get near the World Cup squad either. But on form, when he's at his pomp, he's arguably probably the best centre back England have. Certainly top 2, top 3 easily. So yeah, hopefully he does get that move that he wants. You know, I think Villa would be perfect. It would be a massive step up on Tyrone Mings. Put him in there alongside House, or what's the other lad's name? I forget his name.
Twanza, he's left, hasn't he?
No, it is House, isn't it? That's what. Yeah, Tonza. But Mings he's a fraud of a footballer. He's so overrated. But yeah, listen, it's the best thing for Joe Gomez in his career, and I hope it happens, to be honest.
Hey, Chris, before you come in, I'll lead you into it. 1, how much is he worth? And 2, what do we do to replace him? Because we will have to.
I'll probably say 30 million would be a fair price.
Ourselves if we sell him for 30.
I do as well, but at the same time, you how do you sell a product that is damaged for anywhere near its full potential price? Like, Joe Gomez has had 3 potentially career-ending injuries that he's got through. And he's done amazingly to do that. He's not the player he once was at the moment because he hasn't been afforded that game time. In his pomp, he could have been worth 70, 80 million. But to be honest, I think 30 would probably be fair as max, as sort of a minimum. But yeah, I think it would work. But I'd be hesitant to sell him. I really would be, because we all know what happens with injuries. I know last season was a freak, but we can't go into a season with 3 centre-backs or 3 centre-backs and 1 pretty dodgy centre-back. You know, I don't want to get into that situation again. If he can stay, that'll be the best decision for Liverpool in that way.
We live in a world where John Stones went for 50 million quid a long time ago, where Harry Maguire went for 80 million quid. I would argue that Joe Gomez is worth every penny of 40 million upwards, minimum, for us to be interested to sell him. But ultimately, I suppose this only comes down to what someone's willing to pay. And that's where we'll find out the answer to this. So, you know, United were stupid enough to give Leicester 80 million quid. Manchester City, you know, they do pay maybe a little bit more than other clubs would look to do for players. But when you see some of the fees being speaking of, for Diego Carlos, as an example, when he was being looked at by a couple of clubs, Newcastle being one of them, 50 million was the price there.
But I feel like it's not as simple as just, what it's the injuries. It's like, we all know Joe Gomez without injuries, like, would be a hot commodity and we could command a massive fee. But
we wouldn't be selling him.
If you're trying to, what?
We wouldn't be selling him without the injuries. He'd be in the first team right now.
Exactly. But if you're trying to sell him to a club, that club just won't magically look past these injuries. And like, I hope for his own sake he never has an injury like that again. But there's no denying the toll those injuries have taken on his body, and it's certainly affected him in a way. But if you're talking about an injury-free Joe Gomez, if Harry Maguire is 80 million, Joe Gomez is 100 million. You know what I mean? On that merit, but easily 50, 60 million. But unfortunately, I think given the injuries, I'd say we can probably look to get 30 million. Same as Chris said.
How much did Aki go for?
40.
35? 40, was it?
Pretty sure, yeah.
He's better than Aki.
Yeah, I don't think you can directly compare it, though, because it's Man City buying...
See, you can absolutely make a really valid point, Chris, and it is a valid point about his injuries, but I can also flip that and make a really valid point about the absolute level that Joe Gomez has played at. Champions League winner, Premier League winner. He has, at 24, I think he's 24 now, years of age, he is extremely experienced for a young centre-back at a very high level.
Very true. It's very true. And I still think we should keep him, whatever.
It will come down to him. I get the
exactly
feeling,
that.
I get the feeling this has been driven by Joe Gomez wanting more minutes, which is I never ever will slag off a footballer for wanting to play more.
Exactly that. He's not happy to sit on the bench, and he wants to go. I wouldn't be against a loan move, if I'm being honest with you. If he was willing for that, and he was like Jurgen was like saying, right, you can come back in a year's time, having played a full season of football, and we'll assess from there. He'll likely be ahead of Matip at that point, because I think Gomez at his peak is better than Matip at his peak, especially next to Virgil, and it has potential to get even better. So look, there's a lot of time for Gomez.
I wouldn't feel comfortable Paddy loaning him out, because immediately then we've to go through an entire season hoping he doesn't fall apart. If you sell him, not your problem anymore.
I think sell him and put in a release or a buyback. I don't know if there's like rules based on age with that sort of stuff, but sell him with a buyback. So that's the best. That's his best. That's a good idea.
I don't understand the rationale behind loaning him, other than making him a year older, a year more wear and tear on his body, a year less on his Liverpool contract, unless we extend it beforehand.
But the thing is, Liverpool can't offer Joe Gomez regular football right now. If he goes out and gets regular football, he'll be in a better position to play more regularly for Liverpool then. I just think the reason why he hasn't played
Liverpool, though.
Well, you get a better, fitter Joe Gomez at the end of it.
But he's not going to get in ahead of Verge or Konate.
Is he? Well, what if there's an injury?
Well, yeah, of course.
And then he plays himself in. There was a point where Joel Matip was fourth choice centre-back at Liverpool.
Oh, look, we all agreed that Gomez is there or thereabouts level-wise when he's fit. None of us will sit here and say Joe Gomez isn't a quality centre-back. I just think, me personally, looking at it, I think we have a few too many of these type of players still hovering around the squad there that we could potentially move on. And particularly if Gomez is angling for a move away himself, I think it's a very easy move for the club. But what I would say is, who do we replace him with? Because we still have Nat Phillips on the books. I'll be honest, I don't think Nat Phillips can ever play our high line consistently enough.
No.
There's just no way. I know people are going to go, but Nat Phillips, brilliant, everything, but he can't play that high line. He can't. He hasn't got the recovery pace. Nat Phillips is, if you're 10 minutes to go, the other team's chasing it by a goal, and they're putting balls into the box, no better boyo than Nat Phillips in there. But, that's not really how we like to play. We're proactive, and we were a bit reactive and defensive when we hadn't got the ball. We had to adjust our system a little bit when we hadn't got the centre-backs last season.
Yeah,
we did.
Exactly.
He excelled in that system.
So who would you gents like to see Liverpool looking at? Or is there a case for Sepp van den Berg again?
Ronald Araujo for me.
I see. What makes me worry there, Paddy, is Barca seem happy to get rid of him, and I'm always thinking there's a red flag when that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we have three the world class a bit too early for Konate, but three superb centre backs there already. I'd be happy to see a Sepp van den Berg or a Nat Phillips become that fourth. Joe Gomez is probably too good to be a fourth choice, but not good enough to be our third choice right now. And that's where we find ourselves. So I'd be happy with a Nat Phillips or a Sepp Vandenberg in that fourth spot, play the cup games here or there, and persist with Konate, Ibu, and Virgil.
I see
Christensen, Rudiger, and Azpilicueta are out of contract in the summer.
Yeah, but I don't want one of those mercenaries coming in just for.
I wouldn't mind Christensen. I'd
rather invest that money in a player who's 22, 23. I mean, look, if you really wanted to go balls out, and I know his agent would shit the bed on this one, but there's a certain gentleman over in Juventus, a certain young Dutch centre-back that isn't really the player that he wants to be there in Matthias de Ligt. Now, obviously, Riola's his agent, so that probably shits on that, but I would say that there were some good young centre-backs, particularly probably in the Bundesliga, maybe worth looking at.
I don't think de Ligt is quick enough. You got if we're talking about pace, de Ligt certainly doesn't have that.
You probably end up at United another 85 million quid deal.
United are going to sign a 40-year-old Benzema on a 5-year deal.
He is out of contract.
And there's no way we're signing Jules Koundé, by the way. We're not paying that money that Sevilla want for him.
I would love Rudiger. I would love Rudiger.
I'd love him because he's a shithouse, and I love his shithouse.
How much money we pay him, though? You have to be ridiculous wages.
Yeah.
True. He's won like 400 grand.
And again, to be fourth at this moment in time.
Yeah.
He's a back three merchant. He even said himself he can't play in this two centre-back formation.
It's a really difficult one, isn't it? It's sort of trying to gauge the level of centre-back we'd be looking at. It would have to be.
It is very difficult. You know, do you look down to the Premier League, is there really anybody there? Oh, here's a list that Connor sent me of all the players who are out of contract in the summer. 1 second. This is why you need Crosby on standby when we're doing this stuff. Right. Mbappe, well, look, we can talk about that one. Pogba, Dybala, nothing. Kessie, Brozovic, Rudiger, Christensen, he's off the bar, so that's done. I'm looking at...
Nobody in the youth team moves me at all.
Ginter, Tarkowski, Romagnoli, Denayer.
Jerome Kwanzaa's quite a good centre-back, but definitely not ready for us yet in the youth team.
Kwanzaa.
We'll get on to this in a minute, Victor, but thank you for the super chat, my man. We will be talking about all things Chelsea in a few minutes. I just wanted to mix it up because we started out with a little laugh at PSG, so I want to come back to Liverpool for a few minutes before we go back and talk about
fucking red.
No Tickets FC, as I'll refer to them as right now.
I feel really sorry for their proper fans, but for the rest of them,
I absolutely
the real Chelsea fans.
We're jumping the gun, lads.
They can fuck off. Singing Abramovich's name.
The gun. Settle down.
Yeah, those ones are weird, but the actual ones which have a bit of sense.
Yeah, they were at the fucking game, mate. They are actual ones.
Some of them. There
no. See, this is one fan base I'm not having this. Some of them. There is a fucking big majority of them arseholes in that fan base, mate. A big. Let's go back to the train journeys of certain PSG fans. There, anti-Semitic. Like there's more than a few, mate. There's a fair few dickheads in that fan base.
Oh, absolutely. There's dickheads in every fan base, but I think that's got a bit more of a concentration, shall we say?
This is. I've kind of segued straight into it now, so let's go balls deep. This is what happens when you take that money. This is what happens. We've seen it before. This is the big downside of any potential ownership from a state or from an oligarch like this. One, they can absolutely throw their toys out of the pram and fuck off, like we've seen in Monaco, like we've seen in Malaga, like we've seen in Angie, whatever that club are called. Loads of these guys come in, get bored, and fuck off. Now, the one thing that I don't understand in all of this, and I'd love anybody to explain it to me because I'm an idiot, how can they get away with just writing off $1.5 billion if that's what they're trying to do on paper? We all know Abramovich wants that money. We all know he wants it in the sale price, the 3 to 4 billion. But that's $1.5 billion quid, lads, that Chelsea Football Club kind of just pissed away on players that doesn't have to be accounted for financially because Abramovich is willing to just wipe it off the books. That cannot be right.
Well, with that, as it stands, is kind of irrelevant because of the sanctions that have been placed on them. So
the sanctions after he moved his yacht, by the way. He moved the fucking mega yacht.
Yeah.
He flew
now, Abramovich or Chelsea, they can continue to play, they can receive broadcast money, and they can allow season ticket holders to go to games. They cannot buy new players, agree new contracts, sell new tickets, sell any merchandise, and they can't sell the club unless Abramovich allows the UK government to take control of the process and he receives no proceeds from the sale. And holy, beautiful, fucking, my word, that is gorgeous. Absolutely tremendous.
Mate, can you imagine Premier League years?
500 grand on security around any game. And I think there's a maximum of 20 grand or something like that, allowing for Chelsea to travel to games. So no private jets or anything over there to the Lille game.
They have to
Forgetting
get
the bus and train.
ferry.
Megabus, £1, job done.
It's just beautiful. And I have had people saying, "Oh, don't you feel sorry?" Not in the slightest. I'm going to enjoy every second of this demise. Beautiful.
Who'd have thought that the disassociation of the Soviet Union would lead to not being able to buy a keyring in the Chelsea club shop? Incredible.
I like it. The store is actually down. You can't go on their website right now.
And their shirt sponsorship as well for the minute.
Yeah, they've been dropped, but they're gonna wear it. They're gonna wear it tonight for the game against Norwich. But that's actually a blessing in disguise for Chelsea, because that's a god awful sponsor. Anyone who's Irish will know 3 are the worst sponsor you can ever get in a jersey. It's big, it's ugly, and after a few washes, it breaks off.
No. Right, we'll go back to Chelsea in a sec, but question from Victor. Thank you again for the super chat. Which team would you guys take in the Champions League next round? I take United all day, but I won't want to play Man City or Bayern. Do you think Chelsea should be banned Champions League? I haven't got an answer for the Champions League thing because it's above my pay grade. I don't know, if it would be fair to kick them out of a competition they've already been in. I think they should be allowed to fulfill their fixtures, personally, till the season ends. Who do I want? I go with Victor. I want United if they get through.
Please, definitely. I'd also like Ajax for some reason. I think it would just be a really entertaining game. Proper football.
I want United if they get through, but I don't think they will get through because Luis Suarez is going to have a masterclass at.
And I absolutely don't want Atletico if they get through.
No,
let's avoid Atletico, avoid Real, avoid City, avoid Bayern Munich.
So most of the teams.
four out of the 7.
Fucking red. I look like a fucking grape.
It was me yesterday. It's you today.
What's going on?
Anfield agenda tanning bed.
I don't know. I look like I swallowed something.
Just take your nipple clamps off, same as Chris yesterday. Simple.
It's the ball voice.
It's your bins flaring up.
Yeah, it's probably the case of a 6:30 flight that they've told me I have to be 3 hours early for. Get in the bin.
That tomorrow.
Yeah, get in the bin.
Bless his heart.
What the fuck? 3 hours early.
Due to possible security delays, arrive 3 hours before your flight. I will in me bollocks.
Yeah, what I hear there is the DAA being too fucking cheap to have enough people on, so they want everybody else to suffer while they're bringing in their drop-off and pick-up charge at the airport as well. They're robbing bastards.
I know, it's disgraceful.
Mate, the amount of money, I didn't realise. It's the first time booking a holiday for myself, and I didn't realise the amount of extra money you pay for flights. It's just ridiculous. It's mental.
Mate, I booked our trip to Lanzarote. We did it ourselves, so we booked our flights and our hotel. Then you've got your car hire to go on top of that. Then when you pick up your car, you've got extra charges that you'll be hit with on top of that. Loads of little bits and pieces. Even to put my dog in a boarding hotel groomy place for the 10 days has cost me 300 quid.
What a name.
300 quid.
Hotel grooming place.
The dog cost me 30 quid.
Wow. Let him fend for himself. Give him a vending machine or something. It'd be grand.
No, he's one of the family, lads. Pet's one of the family. But I think twice about paying 300 quid for my daughter to stay somewhere for a week.
Yeah, I fucking too right. That's expensive.
Right, can move back to Chelsea for a second, then, lads. And thank you for that question, Victor. What do we think will happen here? Because, there are going to be some innocent parties involved in all of this. Of course there are. And there are some good fans, Chris. Yes, of course there is. But ultimately, I still say you dance with the devil. These are the risks you take.
Well, it is karma, isn't it? It is big time karma. Roman Abramovich came in and changed the landscape of English football for better or worse. And this is what you get. I mean, it's not a direct correlation, of course, but it does taste quite nice. You know, it's not. It's in that it's very good, man. I love it.
You blaming other clubs on your camera, Paddy? I mean, it's clearly down to other clubs' fault there, according to this genius.
The fuck is he talking about? I just said his name out loud and my fucking furniture started floating. So you stay in your lane, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, very strange one there, but okie doke. Yeah, so for you, Paddy, on Chelsea, what do you think the likely outcome is going to be? Because look, ultimately, I don't think even the Tories will allow Chelsea Football Club to just disappear into insignificance. They will be sold. I think the only thing we want to know here is, will Abramovich see the money, and how will it impact their season, the rest of the Champions League campaign, Thomas Tuchel, his players, and of course the fans?
I think it could actually G them up. This news, it probably could make them come together. You know, when things like this happen, unprecedented things that you kind of surely not like. If you're a Chelsea fan right now, you're probably thinking, nah, there's got to be a way this gets resolved. But if Chelsea went bust tomorrow and ceased to exist, I would be happy, and there would be no flicker of negative emotion. I would be buzzing. I feel sorry for people who lost their jobs, but as a club, good luck to them.
I mean, I don't want to say that I accepted the Abramovich thing. I did feel like he had gotten to a point where the club was trying to be sustainable from that perspective going forward. But I can't just ignore how these people accumulated their wealth either. Yeah. Like, you know, I don't know how true this is, but somebody told me that one of Abramovich's companies were supplying tanks or had built tanks for the Russian army. I don't know if this is true or it isn't true, but I hate the fact that our sport can be used for sport washing by anybody. I'm not trying to point fingers here at anybody. I just don't like the fact that dirty regimes can try and use our sport that we love to highlight themselves and their countries and their ways. It just doesn't sit well with me.
And I think as well, I don't think we can just like highlight Chelsea here. Let's not forget that Newcastle and Manchester City have ties in places for poor human rights. I mean, I think I read earlier that in Yemen's being held by Saudi, I can't remember what the actual word is, but thousands and thousands of people have died there, and there's been absolutely no talk of it. Like this is it's a big problem. But you find a clean billionaire. I honestly don't know one. There is no one who can have that amount of money and not have done something dodgy. Prove me wrong, but I don't. I honestly don't believe it.
Probably the only one I can kind of think of off the top of my head.
Who?
That's it.
Warren Buffett.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, there's so many atrocities going on right now. You know, the way the Palestinians are getting treated by Israel. Israel is bombing Yemen. I'm pretty sure. Like this, you know, there's where there's money and power. There's skeletons. But you know, obviously, any investigation, like there's obviously been concrete evidence that Abramovich is directly involved in this sort of stuff.
Also, we need to be really clear as well. The Tories are up to their fucking neck in Russian money and facilitating the laundering or the. Maybe not laundering, but certainly the cleaning of Russian money throughout London, the city of London. They're up to their fucking necks in it. They've been bankrolled by a lot of them.
Mm.
So that's why I feel it was delayed as long as it has been for Abramovich, because I would like to see what exactly has been allowed to move asset-wise, you know, yachts and all this kind of stuff. It stinks. It all stinks.
Yeah, it all does. It all does, but as we say, we're not geopolitics experts.
Are we not? Fuck, wrong show. Sorry, guys.
We're trying our best.
Yeah, it is. It's stuff we don't want to be talking about that with football fans. Stuff we shouldn't have to even know anything about as human beings. Of course, you know, it's up to ourselves to educate ourselves on what's going on in the world, but. To be sitting here on a football show having to talk about this because Chelsea's owner has been sanctioned. It just feels mad, lads. It feels otherworldly that we're sitting here having to discuss this shit and not just laugh at PSG.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, Peter, I don't understand people who say sports and politics don't mix because they just do. Like this is proof. It's what's been fed to the masses that sports and politics they should be kept separate. No, like they're intertwined. People, it always has been. So to try and deflect away from certain situations by using that excuse is just ridiculous.
Yeah, so all UK assets frozen, sales now on hold, no ticket sales, only season ticket holders allowed at games. So look, we'll wait and see what happens with that one. But looking ahead to the games of the weekend, gents. I mean, 12:30 against Brighton. I don't know about you, but I fucking hate this kickoff for obvious reasons. Because I have to drag my ass out of bed that early. Any nerves going into this one? Any concerns about the squad or the performance against Inter Milan that you think might carry over?
There is elements of the performance that didn't fill me with joy. I'm eager to. Do we have an update on Bobby's fitness? I'm eager to see him back. I don't know. I have a newfound hunger for Roberto Firmino being in the team. I watched the video LFC put out today with Ibu and Virgil commented on the United game, and just looking at Bobby in that game as well, how he comes deep, collects the ball, links up with Salah. I just think it's the perfect time to get Bobby in there. Start him ahead of Jota, play Diaz off the left, and that's what I'm in the mood for a bit of Bobby right now.
Chris, how about yourself?
12:30 makes me nervous, Craig. I never like lunchtime kickoffs. We either win 7-0 or we lose. It just has a feeling about it. I don't know what it is. Obviously, I could be proven wrong, and I'll probably be the most confident man in the world tomorrow because I sway like that. But I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest. And it's all about the kickoff time. It's nothing about the actual game.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a myth either, by the way, about this 12:30 kickoff, but it always makes me nervous. And I think, as Chris has said, it seems like we either win big or we put in a stinker. And weirdly, I'm also nervous the longer we have between games because we seem to, if we have a week off, we seem to not be as good as if we have 3 days off for some reason. So now the fact that we had Tuesday to Saturday, it does make me a bit nervous, but ultimately Brighton are in a stinking vein of form at the minute. It's an awkward time, but the only reason I don't like that time is because, again, as you said, you have to be up early. Especially you have to do a watch along, the hassle of it. But no, I think we're going to be fine. I have no fear. As long as there's a big team selection to be made, but I think we'll be fine. As you said, Brighton aren't pulling up any trees at the moment, so I think we'll beat them rather comfortably.
When was the last time they won? Honestly, I don't.
4 or 5 in a row.
Yeah, I don't honestly remember the last time they won. Stat check. They beat Everton. That was the last time they won.
Of course it was. Of course it was.
Oh my!
And when was that? What date?
They bet Watford. They bet Watford on the 12th of February.
Oh yeah, they beat Watford. I
didn't
see that. That's 5 games ago. But yeah,
they've 2-0 to United. That's 3-0 to Burnley, 2-0 to Villa, 2-1 to Newcastle. I mean, if we don't beat them, there's going to be a bit of an uproar.
They've not been playing badly, but at the same time, they've not been playing well. It is very, very Brighton, isn't it?
I mean, back-to-back away league games now as well. Coming up, Brighton, then Arsenal midweek.
I'm more optimistic for Arsenal than I am for Brighton.
No.
I am. Absolutely.
What? We'll beat Arsenal. Come on.
Yeah, but I'm not more optimistic for Arsenal. No, Arsenal are in a good run.
Kickoff time. The kickoff time.
Yeah, they're Arsenal. They're soft. We'll beat them.
But I'm looking at City's fixtures left in the Prem. They have some nice fixtures, man. They really do.
Palace can pull a miracle out their arses, by the way, on Monday night.
Well, I mean, they've done it before a few times, haven't they? They've bet them earlier on this season. They bet them in the 18-19 season. That Townsend worldie. Strange things have happened.
Unreal. That Townsend goal.
No, but outside they have Palace, Brighton, not in the order, Burnley, us, Wolves, Watford, Leeds, Newcastle, and then they end. I think it's going right down to the wire. You know, they end at Villa. It's written in the stars.
By the way, I was just, doing my research today because I have a memory like a goldfish. And I was reading some stuff on The Athletic, and they were talking about United's 99 treble and this stuff. And I mean, there's very little talk of our 84 treble, by the way, the first English club to win 3 trophies. I don't feel that gets brought up enough. And just because it was First Division, which was the top division then, European Cup and League Cup, it doesn't get spoken about because they're 2 difficult parts to do there, lads, in the league, obviously, and the European Cup. And this was at a time as well, if my memory is correct, where the European Cup was a knockout stage straight away. There was no group stages, any of this stuff. And look, United's run in 99 was very hard, but also you could afford to lose more points in the league back then. I think United won that with, I want to say
79.
Yeah, no, lower. I think 76 maybe. In 99.
Like, that barely gets you top 4 these days. Like, I remember we finished 4th on 76, 75 points.
Yeah. 13 draws they had.
Yeah, you ain't winning that with that. No, not a chance.
No.
You're scraping top 4 with that now. Well, I mean, not, you know what I mean.
Yeah, in the last couple of years, it's been crazy, like the level of point. I think when we finished 4th in 17-18, we had 75 points.
Jesus fucking hell.
And we also beat Roma in Rome in 84 for that European Cup as well at the Estadio Olimpico.
There you go. I didn't actually know that, to be fair. So when United fans say treble, I'll say 2001 and 1984.
First English team to do it as well, Paddy. First English team to win 3 trophies.
The originals.
Scout's not English.
Yeah, true. First Scouts team as well.
I mean, you're basically like the United Nations, Chris, at this point.
You have your finger in many pies.
Honestly, you guys are like, you're proud to be Irish. I'm not proud to be English. Like, I honestly don't care. I don't identify with the nationality. I'm like non-binary.
You're also non-European.
I'm proud to be Irish, but there's some things about Ireland that piss me off. Don't get me wrong.
The price gouging, the fact we get ripped off for every time we fucking look sideways, we get ripped off.
Yeah, the lack of trains, upper big rudgery,
house prices, car prices,
gas prices,
everything. You can't move in this country for somebody wanting to tax the shit out of you.
I'm flying to London tomorrow, cheaper than it would cost me to get a train to the other side of the country. Do you know what I mean? It's mad.
Yeah, it is nuts.
Half is cheap, probably, actually. Half price. So, disgraceful.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about this great country of ours, but most of that is the people. Everything else is just fucking thievery.
And
you're coming on holidays, Chris, aren't you?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Mortgage approved.
Izzy did say to me, she was like, "Are you sure it's a lot of money? We could just go to like Manchester or something." I was like, "No,
Jesus,
I'm going."
You don't have high ambitions for your own holidays, Chris, do you?
Mate, I'm a student. End of the day, I got to do what I got to do.
He's show Izzy Pontins, and that'll be it. Now you'll have everything you need, Chris.
What's that?
You don't. Fuck off. Do you not know what Pontins is?
Neither do I.
Oh my, Pontins and Butlins. Come on.
Oh, Butlins. Oh, Butlins. Yeah, I know what Butlins is.
Jack Butland, like.
Jack Butland.
Oh my god! Surely that's still a thing. Pontins is still a thing. There's Pontins. Do you remember Mosney, Paddy?
That's the place in Dublin.
No, it's in Laytown, Bettystown.
Oh yeah, I heard of that.
Yeah, that was basically our Irish version of Butlins.
It's like a holiday park.
What about
But they've got cabaret on at night and all this kind. It's basically just an excuse for the parents to get rid of the kids somewhere in the park for a week while they get pissed.
It's like a cruise on land.
Oh no, God, cruises are much better. I would recommend anyone go on a cruise if you get a chance, lads. They're fucking awesome.
Really?
Oh, unbelievable! Out of this world, amazing.
I associate cruises with like old people, though.
Well, put it this way: the cruise ship we went on had an ice skating rink. It had a surfing thing on the deck. It had a fucking zip line. It had a nightclub, a casino. Mate, it's unbelievable. It had a racing simulator. And it stopped in like Mexico, Jamaica, Cayman Islands every day. Like, I mean, that was amazing. It was absolutely, it was like a big shopping center.
That does sound incredible, to be fair.
I went on the Royal Caribbean.
Oh my God.
Freedom of the Seas was the ship we went on at the time.
Look at that.
That looks shy.
That was my childhood right there, Paddy. That was the level of holiday, Mosney.
It looks terrible.
I've never been.
I'm not going to lie.
Mate, there's about 25 times more to do there than you'll find to do in Dublin.
Yeah.
I do, man. I feel sorry for people coming to Dublin on a holiday.
There's nothing to do. Unless you want to be drunk or look at some historical stuff, there is plenty, to be fair. It's not my cup of tea.
I'm trying to convince Izzy to go to the Guinness factory with me, but she's not having it.
The storehouse. You got to go there. The Guinness there is actually shit, ironically.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're going to Potato Park. You're already sampling the finest that this country has to offer.
The worst part about the Guinness storehouse is obviously you pay for your ticket. You get a pint up at the top. You can only have one. You can't sit and have another one. I go to the guy, can we get another one? And he goes, no. And we were like, what? He goes, you can if you pay again. Like, you can only have one because it's a tourist attraction and not a bar. So yeah, Guinness are frauds.
But I can't wait, to be fair. I am buzzing.
I'll show you all the places you'll get mugged. All of them.
and then you'll mug me.
Oh no, you'll be mugged off in Temple Bar, mate. When you ask for a pint and they say 11.
I'm not going there. After what you've told me, I'm not going there.
Shocking.
To be fair, the hotel you're going in has like a spa and a gym that you can use for free. That's all I'm sound with that.
Yeah, because that's why I go on holidays, for my fitness regime.
Yeah, same.
It's definitely not to eat a load of shite and get sun and, maybe have a couple of sherbets.
I'm not going to get sun in Ireland, am I?
No.
When are you coming over?
June.
I believe there's an 11-minute window sometime in June.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get a bit of sun. We have the barbecues ready on standby. Start the barbecue stuff indoors in the oven, finish it out in the grill real quick there for that 10 minutes.
Gotta do it. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Right, gentlemen, before we finish up, anything else? Any other business? Any other news? Any other topics we forgot to mention or speak about? City went through, obviously, 0-0 on the night, 5-0 in aggregate.
You see if you're Scott Carson on for the last 20 minutes.
Yep.
Like, I think it's the longest gap between Champions League appearances ever. It's because his last game in the Champions League was for Liverpool. Interesting.
I was like Scott Carson.
Man, this Chelsea thing is so funny right now. I fucking love it. By the way, United fans are now touching themselves, thinking they're going to be able to get Tuchel from Chelsea, as if he is like off his head.
No way will he leave. Surely not.
Well, that's the thing, though. But like, what's going on there? If they can't sell players, like then our players are being kept prisoner, no?
Technically.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so.
I mean, they could.
Chelsea are all wearing their Travago training gear, by the way, but I still think they're wearing the tree kit.
They are for tonight. Did you see the link with our Bullshit Island, Craig? Our favourite outlet yesterday. That's them. They said that Liverpool are interested in Marcus Llorente from Atletico Madrid as the Gini Wijnaldum replacement.
I don't mind him,
I would love him. I think he's
Gini.
Wijnaldum.
Didn't he score against us as well that night when they knocked us out?
Scored twice, didn't he?
Yeah.
I remember bantering Alvaro Morata when he came on, saying they basically put themselves down to 10 men and he went and fucking scored. It was sick.
I hated that.
Oh, there was a great thing, actually, and a great set of videos I want us to make, actually, around the greatest football conspiracy theories. So one of them that was posted on Twitter was that Alvaro Morata is being used as money laundering, moving around the big clubs.
I love that.
I'd love to
do some mad shit going on behind the scenes. Do you remember when everyone said that Liverpool, the Jurgen Klopp put people on performance-enhancing drugs?
Yeah, people still believe that.
It's just like,
No, I never heard that.
have you not? They're
No.
like, oh, Jurgen Klopp's got his peds. And like, just because, and apparently because the COVID season, we couldn't import our peds, so we didn't win.
Because apparently there's a thing where loads of Liverpool players are registered as being asthmatic or something. I don't know. It's a weird shit.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I hadn't heard that one, genuinely.
Yeah.
Everybody asked me about the Salah news. I don't know what more I can say other than what I've already said. I don't have anything else. If I did, I would have started the stream with it. And of course, I would be straight to you guys with it. There's a reason I'm not trying to ram home the Salah news, because there is no other news at the minute. It will be announced when it's announced. I can't really say anything else because I don't have anything else.
As I'm not going to be here amorach, what is everyone's preferred 11 against Brighton?
I got to hang off on mine because I got to do a video on it tomorrow. But I'll give you a score prediction. 2-0. 2-0 win.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same. I think we'll see a few. I think we might see Elliott tomorrow. I think it'd be a very, very Harvey game. I think you can get a lot of space in that Brighton midfield. But then I'll save everything else for the stream tomorrow.
Fair.
Teasing me.
That's how it is. Being coy. I like it.
Naughty.
Keep the exclusives. I don't know. I really want to see Bobby play.
I'd just like to point out the fact that he's not on a stream tomorrow because he told me he was on work placement.
Oh shit! Yeah, I am. Shit, I will do my team. Actually. I forgot about that. I actually completely forgot about that.
I don't know.
Wait, am I on a stream before the match on Saturday? No. Okay, so Alisson, Trent, Verge, Kanate. He's just staring at me now. This is awkward now. I can't do Robbo.
Why am I so fucking red?
Mate, I'm going red as well. Fabinho, Hendo, Elliott.
Chris.
Salah. Oh, I have got work placement, by the way. I'm just saying. I actually do. I'm not joking.
A Freudian slip on camera. I love to see it.
What? I've got to be George Sefton tomorrow. That's my job at Newport tomorrow. Got to be a PA announcer. That's fun.
Really? Wrexham clear, I'm afraid.
Newport City clear. Newport City better than Newport County.
Do Newport have TikTok on their jerseys? No, and I'm a TikTok merchant, so Wrexham clear.
True.
What's the biggest video, Paddy?
What?
What's the biggest video on TikTok? If it's not north of 3 million, don't even talk to me.
Yeah.
That was fair play. You. I give you all the credit for that video.
Wow, brilliant. Thanks very much.
No, it was. If you hadn't gone with the you stupid
that was so funny. It was so unnecessary. But
it was so brilliant. Funny. It was so vicious. I loved it. It was brilliant.
Thank you. I loved it too. Fuck Kepa.
Oh, that little Scouts clip with your man going, Thank God they brought you on, lad. Thank God they brought you on, as he was going to collect his medal. My God. Oh, good thing they brought you on, lad. That had me in stitches.
Oh, yeah.
That was brilliant.
I genuinely shat myself.
Nah. The best bit was Craig farting on Paddy. That was the best. That was
pink eye. That was the pink
eye.
The fact that
it wasn't even worth it in the end because the goal was ruled out. It was like a pointless. It was pointless.
Pointless fart, man.
That was so a dream.
Oh, look, lads, I'm going to let everybody go. I'm going to go watch these. I'm going to go watch. Is Villa Leeds, isn't it? Villa Leeds tonight, yeah.
Chelsea Norwich.
That's going to be a great game, actually. Villa
yeah,
Leeds.
Yeah. I'm going to strap in and watch that game.
Villa.
I feel like I'm going to have to break my no betting before the holiday for this. I feel like I have to stick a few bob.
The Leeds soccer team.
Coutinho outside the box has to be done.
But Jesse March, tricky. What's the Leeds nickname?
Whites.
Yeah, I was thinking they don't have one, do they?
They're just Leeds, aren't they? They're just Leeds.
We Leeds marching on together.
Anywho, I will chat to you, wonderful people. Paddy, you have a safe trip. Chris, enjoy your work experience tomorrow.
Shall I be on the on the announcing thing? Just be like, I'm actually meant to be on an Anfield Agenda stream, but just wasting my
Work
time.
placement,
in Wales.
More
Before
like
we announce the new
Wales
Port City starting
placement.
11 today, just want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Manscaped. Bringing all these new Port players together. 20% off and free shipping. Store-wide WFM. It's got nothing
Very
to do with new
enthusiastic.
Port.
You're very enthusiastic, Rick.
There you go.
You've got to be George Sefton. I have to be George Sefton. Like,
You get to do a
that's what
playlist and all.
is. I get you.
You got a playlist to do out and all. Like, can you get the
yeah.
tunes? Oh, there we go.
mate, it's got to be done.
I guess a playlist, Paddy. Okay, you
What?
do have a whip out 500 miles. Play that song.
Bit of wolf tones over the.
I got to put a bit of Tom Jones on. Got to be done.
Not unusual to be in love with anyone.
Carlton dance. I can definitely see Chris doing the Carlton dance to that.
I haven't watched Press. Oh yeah. I remember that one. Yeah.
Wow. You nearly didn't know that one.
Rick Astley, need a bit of Rick Astley as well.
Got to be done.
We've known each other for so long. I got rickrolled by my son. My son. I was loving it. It was the proudest I've ever been as a father. I was like, yes, my boy.
Leave in the comments any songs
How did
you
he
want me to
get
play.
you?
in Newport City.
I just sent me a message. I opened it. Ba-boom. Rick.
Nice.
Sent me a message from his
You learn from the
iPod.
best.
What a hero. What
Yeah.
a little hero.
Right. I will let you guys go. Talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. I will be back tomorrow. Chris won't because he's at work experience.
Work experience, yeah. Haha.
At least Paddy's off doing some good playing in a charity match. You know, you're just being selfish, Chris.
I know.
Yeah.
I
That's
know.
the difference between me and you. Well, you were around waiting. I was out making moves.
What's the difference between me and you? About
You were
5
out doing
minutes.
this. And I was out making moves.
Adios.
See you
Bye-bye,
later.
everybody.
Bye.